Well, it's great to be here today. It's a wonderful day in Champaign. It's great to be here at this event. It's a great event, Cristian, and wonderful talks. I'm really inspired. I don't know if you noticed, I've been kind of feeling this energy here in the room here. When I get in a room where there's a lot of entrepreneurial people, I kind of get this entrepreneurial vibe, and I've been getting it all day. So I think that means there must be a lot of entrepreneurial people here with us. So that's good, because today I'm going to talk about entrepreneurship. In fact, what I'm going to talk about is a need I see to bring together our traditional notions of entrepreneurship and social entrepreneurship, to bring together our notions of for-profit and not-for-profit businesses. But before I do that, I want to step back and talk about entrepreneurship itself. And of course, you're all experts in entrepreneurship because I can feel there's a lot of entrepreneurs around you. So you don't really need to know this, but I'm going to say it anyway, because entrepreneurship is really important. It's really important to society. It's how society receives value. Entrepreneurs create value. That's what they're all about. So what do entrepreneurs do? Well, they create economic, social, and intellectual value. And we've seen a lot of entrepreneurs come up here and speak today. What an entrepreneur does is they see a need, an unmet need that you all have. And then they go off and gather resources and create something new and present that back to you. They meet your need and create value for all of you. But the entrepreneur's job is not done at that point. What she needs to now do is find a way to capture that value that's been created for you. And if she can't do that, if she can't successfully capture that value, then she won't be able to sustain this activity of gathering resources and creating something new. The enterprise will cease to exist. So that's what entrepreneurship is all about, and it's very, very important. You know, we're here in the United States of America, where there's a long history of successful entrepreneurs. If you look back in the history of this country, you'll find lots of people who've been very successful at being entrepreneurs, who've amassed quite large sums of money by being successful. You look back and look at people like Carnegie or Rockefeller. These guys were entrepreneurial, tremendously successful entrepreneurs who amassed huge economic fortunes. And they were also philanthropists, so throughout their lives they gave money away. Particularly these two guys were able to leave a legacy at the end of their lives, one that's still today giving back to society. Two other guys you might have heard of, Gates and Buffett. Well, Bill Gates, along with his wife, gave $28 billion to found the Gates Foundation. And Warren Buffett chipped in $30 billion just for good measure. Now, this is a great story, and there's lots of other stories like that, stories of people who have been tremendously successful as entrepreneurs. But there's something wrong with this story. Do we really have to wait for someone to amass a huge fortune before we can address a social need? I hope not, because what I would propose is that we need to be able to bring this, as I said, entrepreneurship and social entrepreneurship activities closer together. So why is there a pressing need? Hasn't this been working well so far? Well, I think the need is as follows. At the end of today, you probably will leave here with higher expectations of what it takes for you to be content and happy than you had at the start of today. Now, maybe not all of you, and maybe not all today, but overall, everybody's expectations every day is increasing in what it takes for them to be content, whether it be housing, food, water, health, education, safety, entertainment, etc. All these things continue to go up. Now, for you folks, it's not too bad, because I'm going to guess there's probably not that big a difference between where you aspire to be and where you are today. But unfortunately, for many people on the planet today, there's a huge gap between where they aspire to be and where they actually are. Compound that with the fact that our population continues to grow. Unfortunately, continues to grow most in areas where there's that huge gap between what people have and what they aspire to have. So I come back to the question of, can we somehow change our models of entrepreneurship, change our models of business? Can we create some hybrid? Well, I believe we can. I believe we can create for-profit entities that have social missions. I believe that not-for-profit organizations can run like for-profit organizations. Now, it's not to say that that's not without its challenges. A primary challenge is that for-profit enterprises tend to measure themselves in one dimension: the economic value that they have gained. If you look at a large for-profit, perhaps it's publicly traded, every day on stock markets around the world, investors value that company in terms of the future cash flows it will generate. They don't look at it in terms of the social value it will create. They don't look at it in terms of the environmental value it will create. They don't look at it in terms of the intellectual value that will be created by this enterprise. They only look in one dimension. Well, I'm here to tell you that I'm seeing new enterprises start up all over the world. People who are creating these kind of hybrid organizations, people who are addressing this real need that we face. And I believe in time we're also going to find a way that even these large publicly traded for-profit organizations are going to find ways that they can include these other value systems in the way in which they're governed, in the way in which they're managed, and the way in which they operate. Thank you very much.